What started as a routine anti-crime campaign has now exploded into a full-blown political drama, with the ruling African National Congress allegedly plotting to remove one of the country's most outspoken and respected police leaders. Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the Provincial Police Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal, has found himself at the center of a national controversy after daring to expose corruption and criminal infiltration within both the SAPS and the political system. But now, new reports suggest the ANC's National Executive Committee has been discussing his removal behind closed doors. And the backlash? It's been swift, it's been loud, and it's growing by the day. Civil society groups, activists, and ordinary South Africans are warning the ANC and President Cyril Ramaphosa, touch Mkhwanazi, and you'll face a public revolt. To fully understand the gravity of this situation, we need to look back at the path that brought us here. Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi has long been regarded as a straight shooter, someone who doesn't hesitate to speak truth to power, even when it puts his own career at risk. His bold leadership during some of KwaZulu-Natal's most turbulent moments, including the 2021 riots and ongoing efforts to root out criminal syndicates within the province, earned him a reputation as a no-nonsense officer. What truly set him apart, though, was his willingness to take on the so-called untouchables, those politically connected individuals who often operate above the law. In recent months, he's been vocal about the internal sabotage within SAPS, where corrupt officers allegedly protect crime lords instead of serving the public. And he didn't stop there. He directly implicated figures with links to powerful political structures, including those within the ANC itself. So when the ANC's NEC reportedly discussed replacing him, it didn't take long for many to connect the dots. Is this an act of political retaliation? Is the ruling party attempting to silence one of the last remaining voices of integrity within the police service? These are the questions that citizens, commentators, and activists are asking with increasing urgency. The optics are not looking good. Here we have a police leader who has been lauded for his bravery and his stance against criminality, and suddenly, he's at risk of being removed? It reeks of political interference, and South Africans aren't buying the excuses. The backlash has been intense. Civil society groups like Action SA, the Helen Suzman Foundation, and others have condemned the ANC's reported move. Activists have taken to social media and community gatherings, calling for mass mobilization to protect General Mkhwanazi. Petitions are circulating, hashtags are trending, and marches are being planned. Even within the police service, murmurs of discontent are growing. There's a real sense that removing Mkhwanazi could lead to a serious internal crisis, one that demoralizes honest officers and emboldens the corrupt ones. And let's be clear, this isn't just about one man. For many, General Mkhwanazi represents the fight for an accountable and depoliticized police service. His removal would send a chilling message to any officer brave enough to stand up to the political elite. President Ramaphosa now finds himself in a tight corner. On the one hand, he has long campaigned on promises of reform, transparency, and fighting corruption. On the other, his own party seems to be engaging in actions that directly contradict those promises. The president's silence on this issue has not gone unnoticed. People are asking, where does he stand? Will he allow his administration to be seen as one that punishes honesty and rewards silence? Or will he step in and protect a man who's simply doing his job, even if it makes some of his comrades uncomfortable? Political analysts are divided. Some say the president may attempt to play it safe, offering vague statements without committing to action. Others argue that he can't afford to remain neutral, especially with 2026 elections looming and public trust in government at an all-time low. If Ramaphosa fails to back Mkhwanazi, it could be interpreted as yet another betrayal of the anti-corruption agenda that got him elected in the first place. But if he sides with Mkhwanazi and blocks the removal, he risks further dividing an already fractured ANC. This moment could very well serve as a turning point in South African politics. The battle lines are being drawn, not just between Mkhwanazi and his detractors, but between those who want a cleaner, more accountable state and those who benefit from the status quo. If the ANC proceeds with removing him, they might succeed in silencing one man, but they will ignite a broader rebellion. The streets are already rumbling with discontent. Communities that have long suffered under the weight of crime, poor policing, and political corruption are now rallying behind someone they see as a symbol of hope. If Mkhwanazi falls, it may not be the end. It may be the spark that finally pushes ordinary citizens to demand change through protests, civil action, and possibly even shifts at the ballot box. But let's consider another perspective. Could it be that the ANC's NEC is simply reshuffling leadership in line with broader administrative changes? Could this be less about punishing Mkhwanazi and more about reorganizing provincial policing to fit a national strategy? While it's a possibility, the timing, the leaks, and the silence from key leaders make it very hard to accept that explanation without suspicion. And if the ANC truly had good reasons to make such a change, wouldn't transparency help their case? Instead, the process has been marked by secrecy and evasion, further fueling public outrage. As things stand, Mkhwanazi remains in his position, but the pressure is mounting. Whether the ANC follows through with the reported plot or backs off in the face of public anger remains to be seen. What is certain, however, is that this controversy has opened yet another deep wound in the relationship between government and the people. South Africans are tired. They're tired of leaders who talk about accountability, but never deliver. They're tired of watching brave public servants being punished for doing the right thing. And most of all, they're tired of living under a system where corruption always seems to win. What happens next could define the country's direction for years to come. If General Mkhwanazi is protected and supported, it could mark the beginning of a shift toward real reform. But if he is removed, it will confirm what many already suspect, that South Africa's political elite will always put their own interests before the country's. This moment demands clarity, courage, and leadership. And it demands that the people make their voices heard louder than ever before. If you believe in truth, justice, and the fight against corruption, now is the time to stand up. Share this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you think in the comments. Should General Mkhwanazi be protected at all costs? Or is there something we're missing in this unfolding drama? Let's get the conversation going. Your voice matters now more than ever.